Hey guys, really quickly before I get into the video, I just need to mention two things. One, I am no longer going to be doing the whole what video I'm going to be doing next at the end of my videos. It's just, that is way too stressful, and I'm kind of a mood swing guy. I mean, sometimes I get ideas, and other times I get even better ideas, and those old ideas just get chucked out the window.
Really?
But when I say it, I have to do it. Also, a while ago I did mention in the comments, or rather in my videos, oh, forgive me, I haven't gotten a good night's sleep in the last week, but I'd just like to say thank you guys for pouring in all these ideas on the comments down below. I will have to say, however, sometimes they will happen, sometimes they won't. It depends on what exactly it is, and also who exactly is asking, because I have a multitude of fans out there that I want to give a little bit of something for everyone. And basically, it's a 50-50 shot on whether or not it will become a reality. So I'm just saying thank you guys for the ideas, but I'm hoping that I'm not getting your guys' hopes up on something specific that will happen. But it's been a week, and I figured that you guys deserve a video. So anyway, let's do this, because honestly, I'm bored and I have no idea what else to do.
Dragon Man Productions presents the mini-series where we talk about the iconic characters of Diesel and Steam. Welcome to the Breakdown Trains. Thank you to Thomas, Ashima Fan, and more for these video clips and images, and the copyright for the music that goes in this video goes to Instrumental Maniac, Upside Now, and others. None of the music is my own, and thank you to all who are watching this video. All of the engines on the island of Sodor have their own stories to tell, in their own ways, but to me, none of them is better than Henry's story. Henry, to me, is just an incredible character. Metaphorically beaten and bruised, disliked for his disabilities. How could anyone find joy in this moment? But Henry did. He found his way from a place where there's no way back from, seemingly. But Henry did it. How, you may ask? Well, that is what I want to talk about today. Everyone has heard of how Henry first started out. I mean, they even wrote a poem about it.
Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain. It went into a tunnel and squeaked through its funnel and wouldn't come out again.
Now, I must admit, yes, this was very canon to Henry's story arc, but the story that I want to tell, the story that Henry tells, happens much later after this. Henry was often seen as the sickly one, the weak one, and I must admit, yes, that was a part of the way how he started out. Sometimes Henry could steam well, but other times he felt like he had no strength at all, and this was the center of annoyance and teasing for the other engines toward Henry. But Henry's story actually I can't talk today, dives deeper than that. Someone, somewhere, thank goodness they did, found the origin of Henry before he came to the island of Sodor. From what I can remember, someone who was seeking to be a phenomenal railway salesman found out that someone named Sir Nigel Gresley had planned to make plans for a very efficient express engine called an Atlantic. And that is what Henry was supposed to be. So this mysterious man hired someone to steal the plans from Sir Nigel Gresley, and henceforth he copied down the blueprints to the letter to make the model, to make Henry. But little did he know, Henry was built after he realized that the plans were fake, that they were for an experimental engine that was never, ever meant to see the light of day. So the salesman was looking to get rid of Henry as quickly as possible and sell him to the first person that he met, henceforth to Sir Topham Hatt, passing Henry off as an Atlantic. And this is an Atlantic. This is what Henry was originally supposed to look like, even in Rev W. Awdry's drawings. But Henry was made the way he was because the artists couldn't get this model exactly right. Henry, as an Atlantic, was supposed to be an express engine, from what I understand. But his slow fire and steaming problems caused the mantle to be passed on to Gordon, the express engine. As for Henry, things only got worse for our friend. Henry had lots of parts and new paint in order to help him feel better, but to no avail. Sir Topham Hatt even considered having Henry replaced. If Henry didn't get better, Sir Topham Hatt would have gotten another engine instead of Henry to do the work. This left Henry without an identity. Henry was designed with his small firebox, so in a way, it's not exactly an illness, more like some type of allergy or even a disability. In a way, Henry was a flawed design, but a glimmer of hope shined through this moment. Sir Topham Hatt wasn't willing to give up on Henry. And at last, after trial and error, he finally found out what Henry needed. A special type of Welsh coal that burns quickly. Henceforth, if it burns quickly, it creates heat faster. Heat that Henry's small firebox could never provide on its own. And sometimes in life, that's just what it needs to be. When someone doesn't know where to go or what to do, all we need to do is be there for them. Even just a comforting voice saying, "I'm here." And go, Henry! Sir Topham Hatt gave Henry something to believe in, both for his future and for himself. And with that little push came something extraordinary. Overflowing joy, confidence, and freedom. And to me, forever and always, that is Henry. The person who, yes, may sometimes need a little bit of help, but don't we all? But to me, Henry is also a little bit more. And I can find no better way to explain that than what happened to Henry next, one faithful winter night. Everyone has heard of Tom's the Tank Engine and a couple of its most famous tales, and one of them is the Flying Kipper. No one needs to be introduced to this story. The music, the character, and the overall story. As usual, Henry set out early in order to pull the Flying Kipper, a train that went to railways far away. Across the island, and to marketplaces all over. And with the special coal that Henry had, he knew that tonight was going to be a great night. Anything else I can say about Henry at this moment, if there's anything that determines who he is, it's not his weakness, but his strength. Realistically, Henry is one of the most powerful characters in the Thomas and Friends series, physically and emotionally. Henry knew the importance of his job, as do all of the other engines. But the tunnel experience that no one would ever let him forget, and of course all the special coal and all the problems that probably caused with the other engines, led Henry to be the odd one out. But yet, Henry just kept going. Because he knew who he was. He didn't have to listen to what the other engines were talking about him. He knew that he was a really useful engine, and paid no heed to their words. But then, this happened. The feeling Henry had must have been unlike anything that he had ever experienced before. Of course, no one likes falling down, but it's all about how you get back up. And again, you may need a little bit of help. But Sir Topham Hatt understood. After all, snow and ice were on the tracks, signals, and everywhere. And that's when he decided that Henry would get his new shape, to be sent to crew, and to never have to use special coal again. He never gave up on Henry. And then Henry came back. Everyone was thrilled to see him in his new shape and glad to have him back to work. Well, that is, almost everyone.
Gordon was cross.
Why should Henry have a new shape?
He grumbled.
A shape good enough for me is good enough for him. He goes gallivanting off, leaving us to do his work, and comes back saying how happy he feels. It's disgraceful. And there's another thing. Henry whistles too much. No respectable engine ever whistles loudly at stations. It isn't wrong, but we just don't do it.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
This would have left an emotional scar, but Henry still had those of which who held out for him and who stuck up for him. And as for Gordon's remark, what did Henry do?
Nothing.
No retort, no outrage, and that's the way I believe it should be. After all, Henry didn't go unjustified. Dude, I'm sorry, but there's no way I'm turning on the audio at this point, but... yeah, Gordon's whistle got broken. His own words were spoken against him for him.
Well, said Edward.
And then this happened.
Saw some boys on a bridge. Beep, beep. Hello, he whistled. Oh, he called. The boys didn't wave and take his number. They thought it fun to drop stones on him instead.
This time, not emotional pain, but physical pain. And it was at this point when Henry had enough. After all, he thought of the passengers as well. He wanted to make sure that the boys would never, ever do something like this again. So what did he do?
Henry is going to sneeze at those boys.
The soot and ashes from a smoke box would stuff him up. Henceforth, when the driver opened the regulator, there would be a huge blast from his funnel. Of course, that's just basically a long way of saying this happened. And the boys never threw rocks on engines again. And as for all the other engines, well, I like to think of when Henry got home that night, all of them laughed at the boys. Even Gordon. Honestly, I know what they did to him in the CGI era, at least in the later one, and I'm sorry, but I just can't. They completely rewrote the character and made him something else entirely, and it just... But now, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the History Buff's favorite section, the real-life model of Henry. And just so you guys know, I'm referring to the new shape that he has, because as for the old shape, it was like a hybrid between two engines. I think it was like Pacific and Atlantic combined, but here's Henry's new shape in real life. This, what you are about to see, is the real-life Henry model. The London, Midland, and Scotland, or LMS, Black 5. This is the real-life model that Henry was based off of, and I think it is so incredible that they chose this specific model, because the firebox is so huge that the boiler actually has to bulge outward in order for the boiler to connect to the firebox. And yes, this Iron Behemoth is still with us today. Many models of this specific engine were produced as well. 842 of these models were made. And this model was made from 1934 to 1951. When it was manufactured, it was said that it could do anything and go anywhere. It became a very reliable express and goods engine and performed phenomenally. But here's something really interesting that I found out. The Black 5's top speed is confirmed 90 miles per hour. That's only 10 miles per hour slower than Gordon's model, the A1, which, hey, sometimes Henry gets the Express, sometimes. It's reasonable. But who would be the best pick for a live-action Henry? Should they make a live-action Thomas & Friends movie? Who would be the best pick for Henry's voice actor? Please leave your comments in the section down below. But for my personal choice, usually I do 2 actors. Well, today I only have 1, because to me, no one else can do a better live-action Henry than this person.
No, this is going to be a treat. I'm finally going to have some quality alone time. I'm going to write that novel.
Bill Murray, who was the voice actor for the live-action Garfield. He's also done Baloo from the live-action Jungle Book, and I gotta admit, yeah, these are 2 pretty good characters, and I think someone like Bill Murray could really pull Henry off.
And that's the video, so make sure to like, share, and subscribe, all those amazing things, and hope you guys have a great day. Respectful eye guys out there. Peace out.